Music Makers Chorus from Fort Caroline Elementary School. My name is Layla Parks. I am the president. We thank you for having us.
I would like to thank the Music Makers Chorus from Fort Caroline Middle School under the direction of Aaron Thomas. That's an excellent performance, and I will also speak for Board Member Grimes. I know she is proud of your performance. That's an excellent job. The arts are alive and well in Duval County. The school board of the Duval County School District is now convened in its regular monthly meeting. To everyone present and to our television viewers, I wish to extend a warm welcome to this meeting of the Duval County School Board. The vision statement of the Duval County School Board states, every student is inspired and prepared for success in college or a career and life.
Thank the parents for coming out and support the children.
The mission statement of the Duval County School Board is to provide educational excellence in every school and every classroom for every student every day. Thank you, parents, for your presence and for your support with your students. I know you are proud, and we are proud of them as well. The Duval County School Board is here tonight to listen to reports from district staff and to set policy for the district that will improve student achievement. We will also address budgets, contracts, personnel appointments, and other business items that require a vote of the board. The management and day-to-day operations of the district are the responsibility of the superintendent. It is not the role of the board to make managerial nor operational decisions. The board has policies and procedures in place to assist the superintendent in resolving management and operational issues. If items appear to move quickly, it is because the board meets in an agenda committee meeting prior to the board meeting for an in-depth review of all agenda items. The committee meeting for the December 2019 school board meeting will be held on November 19, 2019 at 9 a.m., and the public is invited to attend. As a show of courtesy and respect to each other, we ask that all mobile phones be turned off and that no flash photography be used during the meeting. For those wishing to address the board during our public comments portion of the board meeting, please note that we will accept speaker cards until 6:20 p.m. Thank you for taking the time to join us this evening and for your interest in the operations of the Duval County School District. Our opening message today will be given by Julian Cunningham and LaShante Jones, both 8th grade students from Jean Ribaud Middle School, and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Good evening and welcome to our distinguished school board members, Superintendent Dr. Green, parents, teachers, students, and community members. My name is LaShante Jones.
My name is Julian Cunningham.
We bring greetings from John Ribaud Middle School, home of the Mighty Colts, where we are creating outstanding learners and thinkers for success.
Please stand for Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please be seated.
As an 8th grade student now, I have had the pleasure of attending Ribaud Middle School since my 6th grade year. In my time at Ribaud, I have maintained a 3.6 GPA and currently I am taking Algebra 1. One thing I like about my school is that my teachers give us academic push that we need to be successful. Next year, as a 9th grade student, I plan to attend the early college program at Ribaud High School and one day hope to attend UCLA and major in photography.
I have attended Ribaud Middle for 2 years where I have maintained a 3.7 GPA and I also take Algebra 1. I enjoy Ribaud because the teachers are understanding and they encourage us to achieve our goals and do our best every day. As a 9th grade student, I plan to attend Andrew Jackson High School. After graduating, I will attend Full Sail University and major in video game arts. In closing, I would like to encourage all of our peers, be the best version of yourself that you can be. Thank you.
I want to add that failure is not an option and we always strive to do our best. Thank you to our parents and Honorable Daryl Willie and our awesome principal, Dr. Williams, for giving us this opportunity to speak before you this evening.
Thank you. Your GPAs are quite impressive. Congratulations. Tonight we have a presentation from Kirby Smith, and Principal Bush is here, I believe.
Good evening. We are excited to have the opportunity to share with you about our school, Kirby Smith Middle. I am the proud principal, Deshaun Bush, at Kirby Smith, and also here representing Kirby tonight, we have Assistant Principal Eric Green and Assistant Principal Anthony Williams. Kirby boasts that we are the only middle school, dedicated magnet school for STEAM in Duval County. That's science, technology, engineering, arts, and math. We have been an A school for 13 years and counting, and we are located in historic Springfield neighborhood. Our scholars, Jaden Spencer, Kyrie Medeiros and Chelsea Julin Pittman are here to share more about our STEAM initiatives that go even further beyond our regular accelerated and gifted programs of study.
Our school offers not only very rigorous science programs, but we also expand our science knowledge outside of our school. We participate in many science fairs, often winning regional and school. In the 2018-2019 school year, we had a first place 8th grade winner and a second place 8th grade winner.
In order to incorporate technology in our school, we have the Robotics Club and the Challengers Center. In Robotics Club, students program robots to do things, whether it be making a daily task easier or battling other robots that students have made. The Challengers Center has two parts. One is an area where students work in pairs to do different tasks, and the other is a space simulation where students get different jobs on a spacecraft, such as being a doctor or being an engine manager.
Kirby Smith offers very nice engineering programs. Our students can learn different engineering jobs ranging from architecture to aeronautical engineering. We also participate in the Student Astronaut Challenge, which lets students go to Kennedy Space Center to participate in the 4-day event ranging from light and landing simulation and aerospace engineering challenges.
Creative arts, we have band, in which students learn how to play instruments and learn how to read music. We also have art class, where students can express their creative side that we don't usually get to use in a classroom setting. TV production allows students to learn how to operate a camera and edit a video, and it also gives them a little bit more confidence when talking to others.
In math, we have our own math club where we use complex problem solving and we enter competitions and we create objects such as art and using that math. For our STEAM hub, we innovate STEAM across the district by being a center for teacher training. These teachers are taking activities back to their own classroom. And for our Challenger Center, we host middle schools and elementary schools to participate in science exploration and team building. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Don't go away. Yes, give me a clap for them. Thank you for sharing, and I am confident that Board Member Willie would like to say a few words.
Can we have one more round of applause for these amazing students? Not only these students, but the students from Jean Rabot Middle School as well. Fantastic work. It just I love giving our students a platform to be able to share their voice and what they get to experience every day. Oftentimes, this is a great moment. I see the parents out. If you're a parent of one of these students, can you raise your hand or wave? Yeah, we saw y'all doing the dance when they were up there. Good job. But Kirby Smith is a jewel on Main Street. If you haven't been in, you may drive past it all the time, but there's amazing things happening within that school. In fact, when I was in there last, I think the students were running around doing a film. There was a film class going on, so I think I have a cameo. I haven't seen the film yet, but I think I have a cameo there. But that's just one of the many things that happen inside the wall. So thank you to the principal, assistant principal, for all the work that you all do there. Much kudos, and thank you once again to the students.
At this time, I'd like to ask Dr. Green and Board Member Willie to go down front for presentation of certificates and awards.
You bet.
That's right.
It's a program that gives children from around the world a chance to experience our community in a unique way. Tonight we begin with a thank you to our school board from the Children's International Summer Village.
Thank you. Good evening. My name is Michael McGivney. I'm the CISV Jacksonville Chapter President and wanted to recognize and thank Duval County Public Schools for letting our nonprofit use Lakeshore Middle School for our 2019 Summer Village. We had 11-year-old children from all over the world in Jacksonville this summer, and Duval County Public Schools was their home for 4 weeks. A little bit of background on CISV, or Children's International Summer Villages. This was founded in 1950. Children's International Summer Village is a global organization dedicated to educating and inspiring peace through building intercultural friendship, cooperation, and understanding. CISV offers 7 international camp-based family exchange and local community programs. Founded in 1976, the CISV Jacksonville chapter is one of the largest in the country and is celebrating more than 40 years, giving Jacksonville youth the experience of their lives and opportunity to build lasting friendships through international and local educational programs. We aim to help our participants develop the skills they need to become informed, responsible, and active global citizens and make a difference in their communities and the world. The glue that underpins all of our programs is friendship, in line with our founding belief that peace is possible through friendship and mutual understanding. A little bit of background on our CISV Village, which we hosted at Lakeshore Middle School. This was an international camp that inspires 11-year-old children to imagine a more just and peaceful world. Each village welcomes delegations from 12 different countries around the world, and each delegation has 2 boys and 2 girls accompanied by an adult leader. The camp is coordinated by adult staff as well as junior counselors ages 16 and 17. A village creates a safe and fun setting in which a child will learn about each other's lives and cultures and how to communicate and cooperate and live together. The village learning experience and the friendships made last a child's an entire lifetime. We look forward to our continued partnership with Duval County Public Schools the next time we're selected by CISV USA to host another camp. In addition, we are also actively recruiting Jacksonville students to participate in other camps around the world, and we'd love Duval County's public schools to be well represented. We have villages going on from Jacksonville going to Norway, Spain, and even Massachusetts. We have 14-year-old camps going to Portugal for 14-year-olds, which we call a step-up camp. We have, for 14 and 15-year-olds, a youth meeting camp in Colombia, as well as another 15-year-old camp in Sweden, and for 16 and 18-year-olds, a youth camp meeting in Finland. So thank you so much for your support of CISV Jacksonville, and we could not have done it without you. So please check our website for more information. Thank you so much.
When it comes to competitions, this next group has hit the highest note possible and with a superior sound. We now wish to recognize Douglas Anderson School of the Arts Wind Symphony for earning top honors in the Foundation for Music Education's Mark of Excellence project. This project awards outstanding achievement in performance by high schools and middle school bands, choirs, and orchestras. Schools from around the U.S. are invited to submit recordings, and only the top entrants are selected as national winners. For Douglas Anderson, it was a performance from the spring that cemented their place as Class 5A National Wind Band Honors winners. Band director Ted Schissel says being able to share his students' passion and hard work with the rest of the nation is a huge honor. This is not only the first time since 2012 that they've entered this competition, but it's also the 3rd time they've been recognized as national winners. And the good news does not stop there. They have also been invited to perform at the National Concert Band Festival in March 2020, and that will take place in Indianapolis, Indiana. Joining us this evening along with band director Schissel are the award-winning members of the Wind Symphony. Also here with us are Principal Melanie Hammer and Assistant Principal Jacqueline Sonati. Please join us in congratulating Mr. Schissel and Douglas Anderson School of the Arts Wind Symphony. Are Guyan and Sheila Joshi here this evening? All right, we'll move on to the next presentation. Next week, school districts all over the country will join in recognizing School Psychology Awareness Week. Running November 11th through the 15th, the theme is Find Your Focus. This is fitting when you consider that this is exactly what our school psychologists help students do. That is, help them identify strengths, develop persistence, and attend to important information in academic and social settings. Duval County Public Schools has 61 full-time and 4 part-time school psychologists. They not only serve each one of our schools, but they also serve juvenile justice facilities, alternative schools, hospitals, and virtual school sites. Among their responsibilities, providing psychoeducational evaluations in order to identify strengths and needs, provide direct or indirect mental health services such as crisis intervention and bullying prevention, provide youth mental health first aid training for staff, develop intervention plans for individuals and groups of students, and the list goes on. Tonight we honor and celebrate all they do to empower our students and assist our staff. Here with us tonight are Executive Director of Discipline and Student Support, Jackie Simmons, Executive Director of Exceptional Education and Student Services, Gail Roberts, Supervisor in Student Discipline and Hearing Officer, Byron Copeland, School Psychological Services Supervisor, Jamie Brennan, and with the Northeast Florida Association of School Psychologists, we have President Dr. Rosalind Ballou, as well as Colleen Capuzito, Susan Hatcher, and Olive Mensa, all of whom are current or retired school psychologists. And any school psychologists who are in the audience, if you're not up here already, we do ask you to stand and also be recognized. Please help us commend our school psychologists for all they do in our district. For 4th grade student Julieta Ramirez, it all began with a heartfelt essay. Little did she know that as a result of that essay, she would be standing in the governor's mansion as the proud recipient of the statewide honor. We now wish to recognize Ms. Ramirez, our state's only elementary school winner in the Hispanic Heritage Month essay contest. The Pine Forest Elementary School of the Arts students wrote about Judge Tatiana Roddy Salvador in an essay entitled Justice with Compassion. Julieta notes that, just like her, Judge Salvador was born in the U.S. to Hispanic parents. Julieta also wrote of the judge's public service, volunteerism, and community involvement, saying she inspires her to want to be a better person. Julieta's essay rose to the top, and she was recently honored in a ceremony alongside Governor and First Lady DeSantis, and Judge Salvador was also able to participate. Julieta is just one of 3 essay contest winners in the state, elementary, middle, and high school, and each winner also earned a 4-year Florida College scholarship provided by the Florida Prepaid College Foundation. As for the win, Julieta says it didn't feel real, but it does make her feel that she can do anything she puts her mind to. Here with us, along with Julieta, is the inspiration behind her essay, member of the 4th Judicial Court of Florida, Judge Salvador. She's also joined by her teachers, Laurel Ledoux and Michelle Lovelace, who provided a lot of support and encouragement along the way. And finally, Pine Forest Principal Michelle Matthews is also with us. Please join us in congratulating Ms. Julieta Ramirez, winner of the state. It's a special relationship that's gone far beyond this district, reaching homes and hearts all over the country. For our final presentation, we recognize Student Transportation of America bus driver Arletha Sherman and Sable Pond Elementary student Anna Hobson. They are proof of the special bonds that exist within Team Duval. Now, if you're thinking that Arletha or Anna look familiar, it's because they've been featured on several national news outlets, including Good Morning America and the CBS Evening News. Anna is a student with a rare neuromuscular disorder and began using a wheelchair this year. Arletha is her bus driver, and the two have formed a very special friendship. For Anna's 5th birthday, Arletha surprised her with a princess dress, tiara, gifts, and a decorated school bus. As if that weren't enough of a kind gesture, Arletha also asked Anna to be a flower girl in her wedding. To their surprise, this news reached CBS correspondent Steve Hartman, and crews were able to cover the wedding for a national audience. Here tonight with Arletha and Anna are Sable Pond Principal Linda Graham, Student Transportation of America representatives Jason Haywood, Deb Repp, and Deb Murphy, DCPS Transportation Director Erica Hardin, members of the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office Sheriff's Watch Program, which includes Assistant Chief Lakeisha Burton, as well as members of the City of Jacksonville's Disabled Parking Enforcement Program. And we now want to turn it over to Dr. Green for a special presentation.
I am so honored to do this short presentation because all too often when we talk about public education, we talk about what's wrong with public education. We rarely talk about really what's right about public education. And what we do each and every day is really about building relationships. And for many of our students, the first person they see before they get to school is the bus driver. And to know that you took the time to develop a relationship with this young lady, so much so that you wanted her to be the flower girl in your wedding, is just admirable and commendable. And so I would like to present to you, Ms. Sherman, the Superintendent Coin of Excellence that I hope, it may not be able to sit on your bus thing or something, but maybe you can put it somewhere at home that will remind you of how much we appreciate each and every thing that you do. And it doesn't matter, what I like to think is it doesn't matter that we have privatized transportation or privatized food service. When you're working with our students, you're part of Team Duval. And I believe on behalf of the board and the 12,000 employees, the 130,000 students we serve, we just need to say thank you to you. I want to also present to you the Superintendent's Coin of Excellence, because I know that riding the bus can be time-consuming and you want to be with your friends, but you have gained a true friend in Ms. Sherman, and I just want to present to you this Coin of Excellence that I hope that you will keep on your desk at school or on your desk at home. Congratulations.
This concludes this evening's presentations.
Y'all should, Keisha Burton should have stayed home. Good seeing you.
Are Guyan and Sheila Joshi here this evening?
It's great to hear good news. We are now on to approval of the November 5, 2019 agenda. That the Duval County School Board approved the November 5, 2019 agenda as submitted on October 29, 2019. Is there a motion?
Move approval.
It was moved by Vice Chair Jones and seconded by Board Member Anderson. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, I call for your vote. By your actions, you have passed this 6-0. We are on to the chairman's report, and I would just like to thank the board members who spent, I think it was about 3 hours at City Hall on Friday, or 3.5 hours on Friday, as we talked about the J1 bill, which unfortunately the Duval delegates did pass 6-2 to take to Tallahassee. The reason this is significant is because it's been proposed by Representative Fisher and passed by the Duval delegation that at this time, when Duval County Public Schools is literally 4 points away from being an A district, when we are literally leading the nation in student achievement when it comes to African American students, Hispanic and Latino students, as well as students with disabilities, that at this time, it's decided that perhaps there needs to be a change in structure to the Duval County School Board by having an elected superintendent. It's very concerning to me that we are here at this juncture at this time. It means that the fight, if you will, moves from Duval County to Tallahassee. There was literally 2 hours of public comment, and every speaker opposed this legislation. I'd just like to point out that no large urban district in the United States of America has an elected superintendent. It's simply not good practice. Smaller counties recently in the state of Florida, Escambia and Marion County, have voted to have an appointed superintendent, shifting from an elected superintendent. The trend across the nation and across the state of Florida is an appointed superintendent. I share this with you today because I think that as we continue to move forward, that we have seen an attack on public education in Duval County. We have fought really hard for months to get a half-penny sales tax on the ballot, and right now that sits in the court. We are waiting for a decision from the judge to decide if we even have the right to hire legal counsel, outside counsel. I appreciate the support of the public. We appreciate your words of encouragement and acknowledgement for the work that has been done. But there's more work to be done, and we need your continued support and continued communication with elected officials, particularly those in Tallahassee at this particular point. Recently, 3 board members attended the Council of Great City Schools conference. It was the 63rd annual fall conference, and I would like to give an opportunity at this time for Board Member Joyce and Vice Chair Jones to share about their experience at that fall conference.
Thank you, Board Chair Hershey. We got the opportunity to go to Kentucky to participate in the conference. Being a new board member, I'm probably not going to be able to say that too much longer, as this is our 11th board member meeting. But the conferences that I've mostly went to were in Florida, and they're great. But this conference gave me an opportunity to connect and network with board trustees and board members all across the nation and Canada that run large urban districts. And so the wealth of knowledge that I gained from best practices across the country, just a lot of great ideas that I can't wait to bring back and present to our board in one of our workshops. some of the things that were important to me. But again, I just think that the professional development and going, our opportunity for our group to go outside of Florida and to learn what the best practices with large urban school districts is phenomenal. And I appreciate the opportunity to go and can't wait to share that with the board at a workshop.
Vice Chair Jones.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I too attended the conference of Council of Great City Schools, and it was my second time attending, and you always learn something new, but it was very interesting because I think we will have the sales tax at some point in time. But one thing that was brought out in one of the sessions that I attended was that you have to be careful to make sure that when you design a new school that teachers and students are involved in that process, because they designed the school and the teachers did not know how to use the new technology in that school. They had to have professional development to teach the teachers to show them how to use the technology in the new school. And talk about best practices, one thing we found out that most states have an appointed superintendent, not an elected superintendent. I think that's very germane to what we're talking about now. And that in some cases, in some school districts, the career technical education process starts as early as 8th grade, and that each child, I think it was San Francisco, where each student in 8th grade has to pick 3 career technical schools that they like to attend and get some idea of what that would be like and working in that area. So I thought it was very helpful, and I will share more of what we've learned with our staff, and I appreciate the opportunity to attend. Thank you.
I would like to end. I too attended that trip, and while there were a lot of great breakout sessions, 2 stood out to me. One was an idea that I told Dr. Green she was going to love, and it was out of Jefferson County, and it was teaching soft skills to students, and it was just a really neat program that they had come up with. So I hope Dr. Green likes the idea, but it was really neat to see how they were able to spread that across the district and motivate students to work on those soft skills that you hear so many employers talk about the need for. And the other breakout session that was a standout for me was policies that some school districts across the nation have created on human trafficking. It was a tough topic to listen to, but it was very insightful. And I've spoken with Ms. Young about that, and also spoken with Board Member Anderson about what that could look like for us moving forward. But those were 2 of my big takeaways, was seeing what was going on across the nation and areas where schools districts had already developed some policies. So the learning opportunity is phenomenal when we have the opportunity to participate in professional development. Yes.
I also will add that I attended 2 other breakout sessions, both presented by Duval County District employees. One was on school choice with Mrs. Peak and I think Jennifer, I can't think of her last name, did an excellent job. Of course, on the graduation rate, Corey Wright and Scott Snyder did a very good job. Dr. Green, of course, had to put her 2 cents in, but it was well appreciated and welcome. But there were some questions, and they were well attended, and there were some questions asked, and she made sure that the big superintendent from Texas didn't try to dominate the conversation. So she made sure she got her made sure her voice was heard. So it was very well attended, and they did an outstanding job of presenting to the attendees what a great job we're doing here in Duval County. And I just want to thank them and Dr. Green for allowing them to attend and for her dynamic input in that process. Thank you.
It's very important that our district had the opportunity to be on a national stage, and partnerships with UNF were also showcased there as well. So we were well represented on a national stage, which is really exciting because you can see that we've got some great things going on as well to share with other districts. Dr. Green, it's now time for the superintendent's report.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The superintendent's report tonight is actually going to be a report done by Assistant Superintendent of Research and Assessment, Mr. Corey Wright. We just received our NAEP results, and he's going to present our results, how we performed not only against ourselves, but against nationally other urban school districts.
Good evening. The 2019 National Assessment of Education Progress results were released last week, and this evening I'll provide a brief breakdown of what the NAEP is and a summary of the results. The NAEP stands for the National Assessment of Education Progress. It's the only assessment that measures what U.S. students know and can do across various subjects across the nation, and is sometimes referred to as the nation's report card. Participating districts are invited by the National Assessment Governing Board, or NAGB, and the National Center of Education Statistics to apply prior to the selection to participate. And Duval County is one of 27 TUDA districts. TUDA stands for Trial Urban District Assessment, and to qualify to be a TUDA district, you must be in a city of a population of at least 250,000, have 1,500 students in each of the assessed areas, and have 50% or more minority students, or have at least 50% of the students eligible for free and reduced lunch. And the selection process for students is that the National Center for Education Statistics randomly selects schools and students to take the assessment. The students selected represent the extent of urbanization of the district and percentage of minority enrollment, socioeconomic makeup, and school standings on statewide assessments. There are some benefits to being a TUDA district, and as a TUDA district, we receive district level results, which allows for performance comparison to other like districts across the nation, and we can see over time national trend data. It also creates some opportunity for collaboration with other like districts through NAEP assessment training. Duval County became a TUDA in 2015. The superintendent at that time worked directly with the Council of Great City Schools through the application process, and once selected, appropriate training was provided and continues to be provided from WestStat during assessment years. In 2015, there were 18 other districts across the nation invited to apply, and the only selected district that year was Duval County. But since then, 6 others were added in 2017. And you can see the list there with the bolded districts are the ones that were added in 2017. Each year after the release of results, the executive director of the Council of Great City Schools provides a quote for each TUDA district. And this year, Mike Casterly stated that Duval County held its own at high achievement levels on the National Assessment of Educational Progress, but saw, like everyone else across the country, a slippage in 8th grade reading. Duval County continues to perform above national levels and has maintained its prominence among other large urban districts across the country. The community should be justifiably proud of the results the school district is attaining. And you'll see as we go through the results that overall Duval County did very well along with the state of Florida. Some highlights for grade 4 math. Duval ranked 3rd overall in average scale score and 2nd among African American, Hispanic free reduced lunch and students with disabilities. And here you see geographically all of the districts that participate in NAEP. And for 4th grade math, there was no TUDA district that was significantly higher than Duval in grade 4 math. There were 5 districts that were not significantly different, and there were 21 that Duval was significantly higher than. And here you see the overall 4th grade math with all the TUDA districts, the Florida average, the national public average, and the large cities average. The large city average is all the 27 TUDA districts average. In the subgroups for 4th grade math, Duval ranked 2nd for African American Hispanic subgroups, just above the Florida average in both of those subgroups. In our free and reduced lunch students and students with disabilities both ranked 2nd on the 4th grade math assessment. Our 8th grade math, some of the highlights. Overall, Duval County ranked 10th. However, our students with disabilities ranked 1st among the TUDA districts. And the average scale score for African American students was 4th highest among all of the TUDA districts. And here you will see that 5 TUDA districts were higher than Duval. 8 districts, including Hillsborough and Miami, were not significantly different, and 13 were lower than Duval. Again, the overall rankings, you see Duval was ranked 10th, just above the large city average. And the African American students you see ranked 4th, and Hispanic students ranked 6th overall. Our free reduced lunch students ranked 8th, and the students with disabilities, as mentioned before, ranked 1st among all the TUDA districts. Our grade 4 reading highlights. Our Hispanic students were ranked 1st. And students with disabilities ranked 2nd, and African American students and students eligible for reduced lunch ranked 3rd. So all of our subgroups were in the top 3. And there were no TUDA districts significantly higher than Duval, and there were 6 districts not significantly different. But there were 20 districts significantly lower of the 27 TUDA districts. And again, for 4th grade reading, you see Duval students ranked 5th, overall above the large city average. Our African American students in Duval ranked 3rd, and the Hispanic students ranked 1st. And also, you see the list of free and reduced lunch students ranked 3rd, and students with disabilities ranked 2nd for 4th grade reading. And the last assessed area was 8th grade reading. Some of the highlights were that our students with disabilities ranked 1st among the TUDA districts. African American students, Hispanic students, and students eligible for free and reduced lunch all ranked 3rd. And here you'll see 2 districts were significantly higher than Duval in grade 8 reading. There were 10 districts that were not significantly different, and 14 were lower than Duval. And here is the total list for 8th grade reading, and Duval being 5th. And again, African American students in Duval ranked 3rd among the TUDA districts, tied with the Florida average and above the other Florida districts. And Hispanic students ranked 3rd. And here you see the rankings for free reduced lunch. eligible students and students with disabilities ranked first. So overall, our subgroups did very well, and the overall rankings were in the top 10 in every category. I think that's certainly commendable for the district and speaks to the hard work we do each day, our teachers do with our students. And just some brief next steps now that the data is released. Of course, provide the NAEP data comparison to determine next steps in comparison to other assessments when they're released. Obviously, share our results with stakeholders. And as mentioned during the slide, our NAEP coordinators discuss best practices with the other tutor districts. And we will continue to focus on our work with aligning instruction and materials to standards here in Florida. Clearly, Florida standards do well when taught to on the NAEP assessment. Florida did very well overall, as did Duval County.
Thank you. That's then. Right. Thank you. We are now on the public comment portion of our agenda. Those wishing to address the board must fill out a blue speaker's card. The school board welcomes your comments on matters that are before the board for consideration. It is not the board's intent to respond this evening, but to use the input in our deliberations. To give everyone the appropriate respect and courtesy, we ask the audience to refrain from audible comments or applause. When you come to the microphone, please state your name for the record. Please limit your comments to 3 minutes. When the green light in front of me starts blinking, you will have a minute remaining. When the light turns yellow, you will have 30 seconds remaining. When it turns red and the buzzer sounds, your time will be up. If your concerns exceed that time, you may present written comments to the board. You are asked to refrain from references to specific individuals and to follow expectations of civil discourse. Please remember that speaker cards were only accepted until 6:20 p.m. Thank you for taking your time to address the board. Our first speaker tonight is Preston Hertz. Did I say that right? It's Harris. I'm sorry. It is Harris. All right. Preston Harris, followed by Darlene Miller. Sorry about that, Mr. Harris. It could be my glasses, not your handwriting.
Thank you, board members. Thank you for allowing us to address the board. Just wanted to say thank you. We're a local nonprofit. We do work in leadership and fitness, and we just became approved to become a vendor with the district. So we're very excited, and excited to be able to do some of the work with you. And seeing those test scores, that really got me excited, because one of the things that we really focus on is we focus on curriculum and instruction, but we don't look at motivation, and we don't look at the inside of a kid and what's driving them, and putting a destination in front of them so that they can accomplish all these things. Because if I have a test and I don't know what I'm taking the test for and how this applies to my life, I may not try as hard on that test as I would if I knew how that applied to my life. And so at 7Cs, what we wanted to just talk with you about briefly was some of the results that we had at George Washington Carver. We did a leadership program there for 4 weeks. And in that 4 weeks, we dealt with some of their troubled kids, a lot of their troubled kids. And what we heard from the teachers was our male students are making better decisions and more engaged in the classroom. We heard from their teachers better self-control, less disruptions, and more confident participating in class. And then the last thing that we heard, they seem more positive, more confident, choosing education over fights and arguments. And so what I propose to you is we want to be the resource to you for students that are struggling, for teachers that are struggling, and for people who have potential but are not necessarily maximizing that potential. We want to be the group that you call that says, hey, come in and engage our groups. What we do is we do fitness and motivation programs. Those programs are designed to get them thinking about their destination, what their dreams are, and then to equip them with the confidence in order to do those. They have to be resilient. They have to understand that there are things that are going to be coming on their path, and if they have the resilience and they have the drive and they have the vision to go accomplish what they can accomplish, then anything is possible. What this does for your teachers and what this does for your principals is it gives them an extra resource and it gives them an extra voice to come in and engage students that are struggling, because they keep hearing the same voices over and over again, and they need to hear a different voice to tell them, hey, if you believe in yourself a little bit, instead of messing up in class and getting kicked out, maybe you try that word one more time. Maybe you do that assignment again, or maybe you do your homework, or what extra help do you need so we can get you there? So what I just wanted to do is just say thank you for the opportunity to be a vendor with the district, but also to say use us as your resource. We want to be there for you because we want to see Duval County Schools as number one. You know, we're 4 points away from an A district. If we looked at the students who are at the bottom of those test scores, if we got those students up 5%, what does that do for our points? So that's what we want to be here for. That's the resource that we want to be, and thank you for allowing us to be a part of what the work that you guys do, educating and equipping our youth to be great and for the future. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Darlene Miller, followed by Joshua Jackson.
Good evening. As my husband and I have been standing here and advocating for the ESE kids for about the last 4 years, we would also like to advocate for some training for the teachers and the staff of people who deal with ESE kids. Especially concerning the mental health of ESE. I know there's a mental health training out there that teachers have to take, but I also do know that it doesn't actually break into ESE children. I have before me a report about the ESE children, and I think we've shared this with you once before. This report came out March 6, 2018 from the Kennedy Center for Excellence in Developmental Disabilities and the Center for Discovery in Monticello, New York. And what this report provides with us is, this was specific to ASD children, but I'm quite sure that other ESE children could benefit from teachers having a little bit of training, is that ASD children are 90% more likely than their peers to have sleep disorders. Well, maybe that's why the child walked in the classroom and decided he wasn't doing work today. So instead of maybe giving him the 0 because he didn't do any work, maybe we provide a little bit of training to deal with, every once in a while that's going to happen with certain types of children, especially with the ASD children. And then when it builds and builds and builds, we get over here and it's these ASD children are 117% more likely to suffer from anxiety issues. Well, then that causes the 123% more likely to have depression. And then that probably has an impact on the 433% more likely to commit suicide than their peers. So maybe if we had a little more training, maybe a little more understanding, then children wouldn't have 0s through the grade book who have disabilities. Especially children who turn around and score 100 on one item, but a 0 on another one that covers the exact same standards. We watched this for 4 years with our son, and we battled people for 4 years over our son. But this information could change a lot of things, and I wish we had had it 4 years ago. Thank you.
Thank you. Joshua Jackson.
Good evening. My name is Joshua Jackson. I apologize, I'm not very prepared for this, but I do have some bullet points. I'm here today, unfortunately, to voice my concerns about some recent changes to, my son goes to Samuel Wolfson High School. He's a senior, and we've had a wonderful experience up until this year. I don't know what exactly has happened to the school, but I do see some drastic changes in how the staff addresses me personally, and I think it all started with me not receiving phone calls for tardies or absences anymore. So I try to resolve that like any normal parent would, and everything seems so compartmentalized now. Everything used to go through the guidance office, and that was like our point of contact for any issues we had. They were great. No longer is Mrs. Harrigan there. She was kind of our favorite person, and many of the staff know me. Me and my son's mother are active in our son's life, and we've been to several meetings, and they know who I am. I just met the principal a couple weeks ago, finally sat down with me to discuss some of this, but the problem I saw was they started treating me as if I didn't matter. And this has not been the case in the first 3 years. In fact, I think the secretary was instructed to tell me that she was not allowed to give me any information because I was not the custodial parent. Now, these blue cards and all the information that we fill out at the beginning of every year we're updating it for a reason. Now, on that blue card, it was brought to my attention because my wife has asked for me to be the #1 point of contact because of simple logistics. Is her phone service isn't as good as mine, and I'm faster to react in case there is an emergency or what have you. But the frustration that built within inside of me by being completely blocked from being able to communicate with the school regarding my son has boiled over, and that's what led me here today. I have not received a call back from the superintendent himself over the high schools, and the information about this has been given by his office. But I think something needs to change because non-custodial parents matter, and the reason why I'm not #1 on the blue card is because the blue card is already filled out for the parents. If you look at the #1 spot, it was already filled out for us and was pointed out by my wife. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Did you want to?
I just wanted to point, Mr. Snyder, would you meet with the parent outside? Thank you.
Do we have any comments from parent organizations? I see PTA here.
Good evening, Chairperson Hershey, school board members, and Dr. Green. I'm Teresa Rogers, President of the Duval County Council of PTAs and PTSAs, and reporting tonight on behalf of DCC PTA. At this point in the year, our PTAs have continued to work hard, innovate, advocate, and grow their membership. DCC PTA was recently awarded the Be Internet Awesome Family Workshop Grant sponsored by Google. With this grant, we will be working with PTAs at some of our neediest schools to put on workshops to help educate our children and families on online safety and digital dangers. At our October 22nd general meeting, our general membership unanimously approved our two proposed resolutions. One opposing the J1 bill and the other supporting the half-cent tax referendum to be voted on by the citizens of Jacksonville. The resolution opposing Bill J1 was sent to the Duval delegation as well as presented at the local bill hearing last week. We are extremely disappointed that the voices of our parents and community members were not taken more seriously, but we are determined and we will continue to advocate and increase our efforts to help our parents, children, and community members use their voices and demand to be heard. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else from parent-teacher organization, a parent organization wishing to speak? Do we have anyone here from the Student Government Association? What about employee organization? Ms. Brady, we miss you talking to us.
Speak for yourself.
I hope your mic wasn't on. Did you want to come up? Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Thank you. Thank you. That's what you get. Approval of minutes. So the Duval County School Board approved the minutes for the meetings listed in the agenda item: September 17, 2019, Audit Committee meeting; October 1, 2019, regular board meeting; October 2, 2019, Master Board training; October 2, 2019, Legislative Subcommittee meeting; October 8, 2019, Board workshop; October 10, 2019, Board member meeting; October 15, 2019, Board workshop and committee meeting; October 15, 2019, special board meeting; October 16, 2019, audit committee meeting. Is there a motion?
So moved. Second.
It was moved by Board Member Anderson and seconded by Board Member Smith Juarez. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, I call for your vote. By your actions, you've passed this 6-0. Approval of consent agenda. Are there any items to place on the consent agenda or items for discussion? Is there a motion?
Move the item. Second.
It was moved by Board Member Smith Juarez and seconded by Board Member Anderson. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, I call for your vote. By your actions, we've passed this 6-0. Discussion agenda. Public hearing and vote revision to Chapter 9 board policies. Board member Dr. Green, would you read the recommendation?
That the Duval County School Board conduct a public hearing and adopt the recommended revisions to the following policies in School Board Manual, Chapter 9. Number 1, Policy 9.10, Parent Organizations and School Support Groups. Number 2, Policy 9.61, Visitor Identification Measure. Number 3, Policy 9.63, School Volunteers Screening Process. Number 4, Policy 9.64, School Mentors. Number 5, Policy 9.65, Background Screening for Contractors, the Jessica Lunsford Act.
I open the public hearing. Is there anyone who wishes to speak to any of these policy changes? I close the public hearing. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
It was moved by Board Member Anderson and seconded by Vice Chair Jones. Any discussion? So call for your vote. This is passed 6-0. Board member travel. That the Duval County School Board approve and confirm the travel listed below for the official business of the district and that it complies with the rule of the State Board of Education. November 5 through 9, 2019, Tallahassee, Florida. Legislative Committee Week. Anderson, Grimes, Hershey, Jones, Joyce, Smith Juarez, Willie. November 11 through 14, 2019, Tallahassee, Florida. Legislative Committee Week. Anderson, Grimes, Hershey, Jones, Joyce, Smith Juarez, and Willie. December 9 through 12, 2019, Tallahassee, Florida. Legislative Committee Week. Anderson, Grimes, Hershey, Jones, Joyce, Smith Juarez, and Willie. Is there anyone from the public who wishes to speak on this? Is there a motion?
Move approval.
It was moved by Vice Chair Jones and seconded by Board Member Willie. Is there anyone who would like to speak on this? I would just like to say that the reason board members, we are approving this is because of all that's going on in Tallahassee. And if anyone has a desire to go to Tallahassee, then it's pre-approved. And that's the reason for this, so we can address our delegates in Tallahassee as needed. I'm gonna go up, I think it's next week, to talk to some committee chairs, so we've got a lot of work to do up there this year. And if nobody else has anything else to say, we'll vote. All right, I'll call for your vote. This item has passed 6-0. We are on to superintendent travel. That the Duval County School Board approve the following superintendent travel: December 4 through 6, Tampa Bay, Florida, FSBA FADSS 74th Annual Joint Conference. Is there a motion? It was moved by Board Member Smith Juarez and seconded by Board Member Willie. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, I call for your vote. This is passed unanimously 6-0. We are now on to for the record. Board Member Joyce, we'll start with you. This is like one of those moments when you're in school and you're afraid the teacher's going to call on you and you don't know when. So.
I want to reiterate the conference that we went to in Kentucky was amazing, and I can't wait to share all of the seminars that I went to and working with other districts across the nation to make, just to bring some of those practices to Duval County. We do a lot of things great, but as a teacher in the classroom, I knew that I could always wanted to see other teachers teaching other subjects to learn from them, and so I think that's important for us to stay atop of our game. So I'm looking forward to that. That was a great trip. Enjoyed spending time with the superintendent and some staff members and Mr. Jones and Ms. Hershey. I also had the opportunity to go to the student law school. Mr. Phil Little puts that together every year, and he also does a teacher law school. And this is kind of near and dear to my heart because I was a civics teacher, and there's just no opportunity for a student to learn about the judicial system and like it is when you're in the courthouse and you're listening to the attorneys and the judges and they're talking about the procedures and just being able to be behind the scenes. I think a lot of our students learn best by doing the work, being there and doing it. Field trips are great. So I had the opportunity to do that. Commend Mr. Little on the work he does for social studies in our district. I was the board member that went to our last DAC meeting. Enjoyed that tremendously. It's always great to hear what's going on across the district with our SAC chairs and regions and everything. So that's a little bit about what's been going on with me last month, and look forward to a very busy November.
Thank you. Board Member Smith Juarez.
Thank you. I'm not going to talk long because I think you're going for a record this evening, Chairman. I do want to congratulate Mandarin for their win over Sandalwood. But both teams were on ESPN, and it was super exciting and really great to watch and see Duval County Public Schools on a national stage. And we'll get you next time. And then I also want to say a quick but very sincere thank you to Councilmember Matt Carlucci for bringing forward his resolution to the City Council. I also want to thank the 8 members who stood with him in voting to pass that resolution, although it did fail in a tie. I think that having our council members voice their opinion on the J1 bill is critically important as we talk with legislators in Tallahassee and go over to Tallahassee to be able to say that half of our council, and Joyce Morgan was there on Friday to voice that she too would have supported the bill, would she not at an excused absence to see her son perform at his orchestra. So another thing to really be proud of with our Duval County Public School system. So really want to say thank you to Councilmember Carlucci. He stuck his neck out and stood up for public education, and he deserves to be commended for that. As well as the council members who voted with him to not support the J1 bill. Again, congratulations to the DA Wind Ensemble. We will all be cheering you on as you go to Indianapolis for that national competition. We'll look forward to seeing everyone next month.
Thank you. Board Member Willie?
Yes. First, I want to just thank you to the students and to the schools that came out earlier, Kirby Smith, John Ribault Middle School. The students, they did a phenomenal job presenting on what's going on in their school. So wanted to start there. Second, you may be wondering why I'm wearing this shirt. It is a Reigns Viking shirt. Reigns and Ribault played their annual Northwest Classic, and I told Board Member Jones if Reigns won, I would wear this shirt to this next board meeting. So reluctantly, I did.
Little did he know there'd be a triple bonus.
Right.
Of photos to
right,
come.
There was all the photos that I had to take with it. So I'm going to get a little slack from my folks. But congratulations. It was a phenomenal event. It was so many people out there. And I love it because the community really wraps its arms around that game and comes out in full force to support the teams. Regardless of who you support, it really is an economic driver for that neighborhood. So it's something that we've been thinking a lot about. And I thank the board member, all other board members who came out too to support, whether throughout the activities through the week. So thank you to that. In addition, Board Member Jones and I are going to be doing a community meeting on November 21st. We're working out all the final details, but just to update the community on all the amazing things that are happening within District 4 and District 5 and across the full district. So look out for more information about that. We'd love to have as many people out there as possible. Also want to congratulate, last week we had a Leadership Jacksonville, which is an organization that brings leaders from across the city together to really learn about the city. And it was Education Day, and if you looked across the folks who were in that room, the folks, what we got to experience that day was all about Duval County Public Schools. Paula Renfro was on the planning committee, Cindy Young was in the audience, David Krisnar and Ashley Smith Juarez spoke to the group in the morning. They got to visit Raines High School. They really got a chance to see it in action. And oftentimes what happens is you think something or you hear something, when you see it, you realize it's not what you thought. And a lot of the folks came out with a different impression of what was happening inside the walls of our schools. And I was just blown away by the questions that were asked and how engaged that group was. So now we have, how many is it, 40 ambassadors or so that were in that room that now can go out and talk pleasantly and in high regard about what's happening in our schools. So thank you to all the folks who are involved in that. And I think it's a great opportunity for us to showcase what's going on in our schools. And lastly, if you did not know, I went to the University of Georgia. And there was a game this past weekend. But I don't want to talk about the win. I want to talk about, if you really think about it, if you looked on the field that day, there was alum from both Raines and Sandalwood and all over our city that were playing in that game. So it was a big deal, not because of just the sports aspect, because our students are playing at a very high level, not only in those sports aspect, but also academically. So I want to congratulate both Georgia and Florida, but Georgia more on the win, but also for our students who got to participate in that massive game. It's a real testament to what we do every day in our schools that gives them the platform to be able to take on that sport at the highest level. So congratulations again to Raines for the win and also to the University of Georgia.
Thank you, Board Member Anderson.
Thank you. I am having to get over this Georgia comment, so give me just a second to pull it together. I want to say thank you to the PTA for hosting Backpack Full of Cash. They did a screening, I guess that was last week, my days are running together, which is a great film. Superintendent came, thank you for coming. It's a great film for educating people about kind of the role of choice and privatization and how that impacts public schools and public education. So hosting that and offering an opportunity for people to learn more, there was a pretty good turnout, and I participated in a panel discussion on that afterward. So thanks to the PTA for all of their advocacy. I think they have really stepped up, and I appreciate the parent voice and support. I got to go over to Fletcher. Fletcher, we finally have gotten our athletic trainer for Project 17. We're one of the, last, I think, us and Atlantic Coast,
Right.
To get involved in it. So I really got to be introduced to the program and what it does, and it's really an exciting opportunity for our students that we are able to help make sure that our children are safe, that we are preventing injury, that they are able to be in school, not out of school, dealing with injury. So the opportunity that our students have to participate in that and the partnership we have, I think, is really exciting. So yay, welcome, Cody, to Fletcher. I was really excited about the events for Bully Prevention Awareness Month. We just wrapped that up in October. Got to participate in a lot of things for that, and it was really great to see so many people motivated and speaking about awareness and having that be an important part of the conversation. We know for all of our students, that was fun. J1 has been a struggle this month, and my words of wisdom center around that tonight. Opportunity often comes disguised in the form of misfortune or temporary defeat. And I think that what is interesting about the evolution of J1 is the let the people vote mantra. I just, the irony is not lost on me that this movement now to allow people to vote on superintendent, which is, not best practice and really not happening in 99% of the rest of the country, is now bolstered and backed by the people have the right to vote and have an opinion and weigh in on this measure. And so the timing is very disturbing to me. It's very frustrating to me, the power grab and the politics of it. And so I ask for people to continue to be engaged. Although the Duval delegation has moved this forward, and unfortunately the council wasn't able to pass their resolution opposition, although I'm very grateful to those members for their support. And I'm very grateful to Senator Gibson and Representative Davis, who really championed our public school system and were an outspoken voice for the craziness of this. I mean, really, I don't have any other words for it. But this is really an opportunity for us to continue to band together. I said before, the conversation about public education and people coming out in support has been impressive. It started with our conversation about the half-cent sales tax. It's continuing. We are growing. I think the people that thought that this was going to be a 1-2 punch situation don't understand that this is really an opportunity for us to pull together, to come forward, and to be advocates for our school system. So please understand that the legislation will go now to Tallahassee. It'll be assigned to committee, and it still has to have some momentum in Tallahassee before it can go anywhere. It'd be signed by the mayor, the governor before it goes anywhere, and it would still come back to be a referendum. So please don't lose your voice. Feel free to follow the legislation, reach out to your delegates and to the members of the committees in Tallahassee to let them know that this is not what we want for Duval County Public Schools. And on that, I think that's it.
I thought you were going to sing or something.
No?
Okay.
I wish everyone a wonderful Thanksgiving.
Thank you, Vice Chair Jones.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Congratulations to those last 2 schools that have an athletic trainer now. And I think we all need to remember that Larry Rozier was the one that put that coalition together to bring about each high school would have an athletic trainer. I think that's great. It's paying dividends. It will pay dividends for years to come. J1 is a very frustrating proposition, to say the least. It's a continuing effort of those who think they know what's best for public schools to try to take over control of what we do every day for kids in Duval County. I think it's sad that instead of trying to work with the elected board, there are those who want to try to take over that operation and control it because they think they know what's best. and in fairness, they may have some good ideas, but the control does not need to be in the hands of a few, and unfortunately, that's what we have now. Good luck to all those teams that made the playoff. And I think Mr. Willett purposely would not take off his jacket so you could not see his Reigns t-shirt. And as far as the Florida-Georgia game goes, wait till next year. Thank you.
I just have a few things, like many of my fellow board members. Board Member Grimes and I went out and visited the Nutrition Center. And so just a few fun facts. I did not know that we have our own seed bank. I was very impressed by that. Very impressed with our farm to table program, as well as the fact that we make fresh pizzas every day that are frozen, and our own fruit cups. I thought that was the coolest thing ever. Not to mention all the good work that goes on with the bakery and the making of pasta and everything else that happens every day. Over 120,000 meals go out of our nutrition center every day. So it's an excellent operation, something that I believe we are the only school district in Florida that has an operation like that with real quality control. So that was great fun to tour and to see that. I've been visiting some SAC meetings, and I just have to tell you, I tweeted this last night. I was at Twin Lakes Academy Middle School, and guess what? They have over 20 students from St. Johns County who have opted to attend Twin Lakes, and they have steadily been enrolling 5 students a day from surrounding charter schools who've been returning. So that was exciting news. Of course, it needed some more books because, they've got some extra students, but they were working with that. But that was exciting to see that people were coming. We often hear about people leaving, but it was great to hear about people returning, and their growing enrollment was very exciting. And finally, the board has been participating in Master Board, which is really a team building experience for the board as well as professional development, and that wraps up tomorrow. I appreciate the work of this board and the commitment to that, as well as our many hours of bonding time at City Hall. We have probably spent more time together as a board than any other board that I know of. It has been a privilege to serve as chair this past year, and so to whoever's chair in the future, I just want you to note the time that this meeting's ending tonight. With that, do we have a call to adjourn?
So we adjourn.
Second.
All right, all in favor? Aye. We are adjourned.
Oh boy.
No pressure.